Hello, my name's Tom.
I'm Stuart.
For this assignment, we had to design and create a level that could be no bigger than 496 by 496. We also had to place in 3 textures that were either of our own design or taken from the internet.
We began by picking a theme we decided upon a space station.
After this, we went into a research phase, where we researched different space stations from games, films, and concept art off the internet. We compiled this research into a document so that we could reference it later in the project. To accompany this, we also made a texture sample document.
After the research phase, we began drawing up the plans for our level. Our first plans were very simple scribbles on Photoshop. We wanted our level to be very open and didn't want the player to feel restricted in where they could go.
We then made official basic plans on Photoshop and made a hand-drawn copy of these plans. After this, it was time to start the white box. The white box was a lot of trial and error to get the right sizes for the level, and a lot of the basic plans changed during the course of its development. Once this was complete, we began adding in the details that would really bring the level to life. Once the white box was complete, we created the detail plans for our level. These included details on what each room would be, the height, width, and depth of the whole level, and each floor plan was done with a top and side view.
We wanted our level to have a similar layout on each floor. This can be seen in the plans because each floor has a central room with corridors and smaller rooms around it. Some of these corridors are very similar, but are slightly different to make them stand apart and feel different. We wanted the hangar of the level to be a focal point, and wanted the player to be able to see their main objective from the start.
We placed the maintenance tunnels at key points in the layout so they linked up parts of the level so the player could use them as a shortcut. On the basic plans, it can be seen that we have a 5th floor. However, after this floor was built, we felt it didn't fit in with the rest of the level. One of our favourite rooms is the botany lab. It has a zero gravity volume and a flower pot particle effect to give the feeling of zero gravity. The textures needed to have a sci-fi feel to them. For this, we looked at our research and the texture samples we had found. Lots of these texture samples made it into our game, and we feel that we have done a great job of using these textures. We have used different textures on each floor to help give them their own unique feel.
For the force fields, we added a panel onto the texture and made it translucent. Once we had created this material, we added it onto the other side of the CSG to give the effect that we wanted.
We have set up a scene capture 2D camera in the command center, power core, and the botany lab. We then added a matinee to these cameras and created a material with them and applied them to the large computer screens on the security floor.
We added in some of our own assets that we built in Maya and textured in Photoshop. These help give the level a unique feel that the assets from UDK couldn't give, although we did manage to put some assets from UDK in.
Each level has strip lighting and circular lighting, which both use emissives. The round lights on the walls also have a light inside them to boost up the light that they are emitting. Each floor has its own lighting style. For example, the security floor has a blue tint to it, and the security level has a green tint. In the maintenance tunnels, we placed small static mesh lights, placed in the middle of them, and also placed a light with the mesh. We want to give the tunnels a dark, grimy feeling. In the hangar, we have placed large lights going up the side, which have an emissive on them, and then the same lights are placed on the ceiling and have a spotlight coming out of them. This is to create a tracting effect to make it look like your ship is being held in place.
In the botany lab, we have set up a matinee on the lighting so that it flashes to show that this room is broken and that the lighting isn't working properly.
We have 2 types of particle effects in our level. These are the dust particles and the flower pot particles.
You can see the dust particles in the tunnels and the elevator shaft, and the flower pots that are found in the botany lab, which help simulate a zero gravity environment. We have used matinee for several things in the level. We have used it to animate all the doors and the cameras, as well as using it to animate the cutscene for the ship leaving.
We have used matinee extensively to help our level work. From the ship moving to the objects floating and spinning, we have used it to really help give our level a character, and it really brings the whole thing to life. We used Kismet to get our enemies working in the level.
Kismet is used in our level to make the prefabs of the doors and make them work properly. We use it for almost all of our objectives, enemies, and everything that makes the level work.
We think a good player experience is had, and we have put in a lot of interactivity for the player, as well as adding a lot of things to make the level feel alive.
We also like the layout of the level and how the player is driven to continue a level but they can explore freely.
We would like to have had better artwork for the level. Technically and layout wise, the level is great. but we do wish we had better artwork to really push it to the next stage. We have both learnt a lot from doing this work.
We learnt a lot about time management and working in a team and the importance of elements of making a game.
Learning how to make the level has been a great experience, and overall we feel that this work we have produced is of a good standard. Thank you for watching this video, we hope you enjoyed it.